I'm not spoken, if not, if anyone else wants, Councilor Clement.
Wow. This is the best debate we've had in months. We are debating ideas and budgets and numbers and solutions, and we're doing it respectfully, and I think it's great. So kudos to this council. Ms. Adams, thank you for your presentation. It's clear that you love the budget process and that you like the work that you do, and that's a beautiful thing. Thank you for that. I like this kind of discussion too. The budget is the most important thing that we do as councillors. And we all have budgets on the brain this week. But I would argue that the municipal budget is the most complex of all those budgets. It's the most visible. It's all things to all people. The people in this room are responsible for sensitive, essential, life-sustaining services and infrastructure. And we're also responsible for parks and recreation and for making sure that families have access to activities and that they feel connected to their community. And every mental health care worker, any healthcare professional will tell you that that feeling of connection to your community is central to a healthy, physically healthy and mentally healthy life. So what we do here is absolutely important. The level of this discussion reflects the importance. I've sat through, this is my 6th budget now with the city. And I have heard, as Councillor Gardner said, the auditors talk to us about a responsible level of working reserves. I also sat on the audit committee and heard it there too. And when I hear the CFO talk about the working reserves, I understand and accept and believe in the importance of that. You only have to turn on the TV and watch even the most basic financial show to know that you have to have reserves. Every budget has to have it. And I would not support any motion that would reduce our reserves, the motion as stated, that would take money from our reserves at this point. We're achieving a level that we can feel comfortable with. The 2% number, and I'm going to use a word that the mayor used at the last budget steering committee meeting. It's a responsible number. And I'll go further. It's a remarkable number. It's remarkable when we've seen all those increases to salaries and benefits, to services and rent, to fuel tax. And we've still managed to make investments in infrastructure, in recreation, in solid waste, moving us in line with our priorities as a community. Like Councillor Carr said, you look around and you know this city is making strides. You sense it. People tell us that. We feel it. That comes with making certain investments, making sure that we don't fall behind. So I'm not going to support Councillor Bernadette's motion, although I greatly respect this debate, and I greatly respect him bringing this motion forward. But I believe that a 2% is a responsible number, and I believe that we've done remarkable things in the context that we're in with this current budget.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm really surprised at the discussions today. Been a number of years sitting around this table wondering if I was the only one that was trying to push the being conservative approach to our budgeting and so on, and trying to find ways to reduce the overhead. But before I pronounce myself on this particular motion, I'd like to have the motion read back so that I have a really good idea of what it says, so that I'm not voting for something that I would not be supporting.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the motion is to take the funds needed to reduce taxes to reflect a 0% increase out of the operating reserves.
Okay, so I thought. Like Councilor Grant, I'm of the opinion that taking the money out of operating reserves is really the easy way out for us as a council if we're going to make the reductions. I remind council that about a year or so ago, council endorsed, if I remember right, unanimously, the implementation of the 1996 report on renewal of this particular corporation. And that renewal process was quite specific as to what should be looked at in order to ensure that we go through the appropriate renewal of this corporation and the way that we do business. So I would be more interested in moving in that particular direction. And I'm hoping that however this motion goes, if it gets defeated, that we can have a discussion on getting down to zero, but doing it from a renewal perspective versus taking the easy way out and going after the operating reserves when our auditors for the last 6 years that I've been on council have been telling us that our reserves should be above $5 million. And here we are talking about having our reserves, working reserves at half of that amount. And I would expect that our auditors would come in and kick our butts as a result and say that, no, if you don't like the advice that we're providing, we don't want to continuing to charge you, but if you're going to listen to something, you should be listening to what we're trying to tell you.